Entry 11, Stuck in the Slush. I start today's entry with a story from my own life that occurred on March 15th, just days after I posted my last entry on the power of powerlessness. I share this to demonstrate and further be an example of what it means to be a sovereign soul and walk, or in this case, ski the path of the sovereign soul. I share this experience with you all so that we may all learn and laugh as I have already. A bit of background. I've been a snow skier since I was 8 years old. And in all that time, I've taken my share of spills, but never truly injured myself. Now, as I've gotten older, I no longer look for the double black diamonds. And instead, I enjoy the easier runs that are symbolized on the slopes by the blue squares or green circles. Now, that being said, a dear friend and I went skiing in New York for the day before the season ended, get some spring skiing in before the season was over, and also a few days before a scheduled golf trip to Hilton Head that had been planned for months. It was a beautiful day and the weather was great, 35 to 40 degrees, just perfect for a final day of spring skiing. I was on my third run down, approximately 200 to 300 yards from the ski lift, coming down like an intermediate beginner run. All of a sudden, my skis hit some slushy snow, and immediately they stopped, while I continued to powerlessly go down the hill head first, landing on my right shoulder. I immediately knew the impact had caused something serious to happen and that my shoulder was not really in socket as it should be. So I stood up, I grabbed my shoulder, and I just put it back into socket. Not fun. Anyone who skis knows how bad of a fall it was when people riding up on the chairlift call out to you, "You okay?" And based on the number of people that call out to you, you get an idea of how bad the fall looked. I was asked by 4 sets of people on the chairlift, a very high score, considering that I was that close to the chairlift itself. I continued to get my skis back on and skied down the lift, letting my buddy know, man, I'm done for the day. Back in the room, I was processing what had happened and the possible outcomes, including surgery, time for rehabilitation, and the impact that this impact would have on my golf trip that I would no longer be golfing on, as well as the whole summer of fun activities that I had been looking forward to and planning for the whole cold winter that we were just getting through. I also, and most importantly, immediately began being open to the what and the why that this happened, and what I would gain and how I would grow as a person as a result. No poor me narrative. I mean, a little bummed, but not willing to give that a whole lot of energy, as I just know that that is not a productive use of the energy or intention. After getting home the next day, I put in place, no pun intended, a plan to cover the immediate needs of what I know and now knew was a separated shoulder, specifically a acromioclavicular joint separation. And thank goodness, no total tears in my rotator cuff muscles that would have required immediate attention. I further moved into the healing by accepting everything that may or may not happen over the next 2 to 3 months as a result of the traumatic event, and made sure I was good with it and that I could just let go of all of my expectations prior to the traumatic event and just recalibrate my life based on what had happened as a result of that event. Immediately, I began to see how this event would give me an experience that I could share with all of you. I had a real-time experience that included this experience of powerlessness that literally led to a separation, not just in my shoulder, but a separation from all the events I thought, again, were going to happen, and I had to face now being powerless over happening. How could this all be a coincidence? Of course it was not. I went ahead and did everything I was called to do from my shoulder, and I was able to go on the golf trip as a spectator. I was able to drive the cart for my buddy and watch my 2 sons play golf, as well as participate in all the other shenanigans that go along with a golf trip. I was separated from playing the game of golf, but not from participating and witnessing the people that I loved from enjoying it, or in some cases being frustrated by it. I am 57 years in this body, and I'm very active. Yet the lessons of this separation brought about by this experience of powerlessness were very profound. Because I was not focusing on playing golf, which, to be quite honest, I play quite poorly, I was able to focus on the ones I love playing golf, which I am quite good at. And as the beautiful order would have it, on the first day, my dear friend Jimmy, he shot one of the best rounds of his life. And I was blessed to be a part of it, to witness it, to cheer him on, and celebrate his beautiful moment fully. Now, this is something I will never forget, and something I would have never been present for if I had not been separated from playing golf. It showed me that as life goes on, my body inevitably will separate me from doing certain things the way I used to. And not only is that okay, it's a gift. The powerlessness that I do and will experience as life goes on over my body's changes is an opportunity to celebrate the moments of others who are still participating and find a new richness in the process of witnessing life. Witnessing life in a place of complete powerlessness over the outcomes of anything, but not seeing that as a reason to have fear or a sense of loss of what was, but to engage in the mystery and the unfolding of the experience now as it's happening all around me, fixating not on what I can no longer do or what no longer is, but instead walk through the doors now open to enter into what I can do to a greater extent, and knowing that it will lead to a more rich and fulfilling life. Separation does have the ability to bring opportunities for growth. You see, we will forever be powerlessly separated from one thing, one person, one place, or most importantly, one version of ourselves. Change spares not a single bond from being broken over the eternity of experience, because all life changes and transforms. It doesn't matter if a part of you sees fit to get stuck in the slushy snow of your experience. The rest of you will have to keep going. No matter what happens as a result of that process, be grateful. Get up, get yourself back into place, and continue down the hill and on to the next run in your life. Be grateful for what separation brought about by the events in your life, even though they include traumatic events at times, on one level or another, and many times on many levels. Traumatic events are not the enemy any more than rain being wet is. It's all just a part of the experience. It's not specific to you or us. It's just a part of creation and life in general. Until next time, I am Sovereign Soul.